This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. Absolute pleasure to be joined at Trafalgar Square by Mr. Teddy Atlas. First of all, how are you, Teddy, and how are you finding London?
Listen, the people are great. They're passionate about boxing. I've met a lot of good people. I've been here many, many times, so I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the place that is one of the birthplaces of boxing in many ways. It's where the Marquess of Queensberry rules came out of, you know. It's got a steep history with boxing, relationship with boxing, and the fans are maybe the greatest fans in boxing. I mean, I often joke that when I die, I want to come back as a British promoter because the fans will make me rich in my second life because they come out for their beloved fighters. They are loyal. I mean, we got great Mexican fans, great Irish fans, great Puerto Rican, great fans of all nationalities. We do. But it'd be hard-pressed to find better fans on the planet that are more loyal, more passionate than the English. They've shown it. I mean, 96,000 of them. 96,000 of them. They had to put more seats. Who ever heard of that? You got to put more seats in a place as big as Wembley. They had to put more seats. So, you know, it's a great event to be a part of. I feel blessed that they've asked me, that the people have asked me to be a part of it and to come here, and I'm blessed that my daughter could come with me. It's an intriguing fight. It's an intriguing fight because you got a guy now in Dubois who 2 fights ago you would have thought his career was over because he had broken down mentally. He had given in fights against Joyce and then against Usyk. But then he came back against Miller. He came back against Herjavec. And what does he do? He gets not just the knockouts, but he redeems himself. He finds the most important thing you can find in life, that he could depend on himself, that he could like himself, that he could believe in himself, that he could trust himself, that he could look in the mirror and like what was looking back. That's what those fights were about, redemption. And now that he's got that, now that he knows that he's mentally tough enough to overcome things, to count on himself when the devil knocks at the door, if you will. Now that he's found that out, he's a dangerous guy. He was always dangerous with power, but now he's dangerous in a real sense that you could count on him beyond just the power. Having said that, I hope they've learned some defense to connect with the will that he's found and that he's shown and that he's developed. Because if he hasn't learned the defense, and if he hasn't worked on that, it could be a short night. Because if he is depending on walking through right hands the first 2, 3, 4 rounds, like he did against Herjavec, against Joshua, that is a different kettle of fish. That's a whole different. Those punches are harder. They're straighter. I don't. Listen, never discount will. When you got that will and that belief, and his people have him believing that he can win this fight and he will win it, and that it's his destiny, yeah, you could do just about anything. But I'd feel a lot better about it if I knew that he had also learned some defense to avoid some of those big right hands of Joshua, especially early on. If you put a gun to my head, I'd have to pick Joshua because of what I just said, that early on, it's going to be really dangerous for Dubois. But if he can get through those early rounds, if he can show me some defense where he's learned to avoid some of those punches, not to just break a guy down by taking him, but to break a guy down with pressure, but also while avoiding punches. If he can do that, wow, you might see something really special where he could get close enough to Joshua. There's no doubt he'd be able to hurt him. But again, Joshua's a little more polished. Joshua's a 2-time former champion. Joshua's a former Olympic champion. Joshua's in a good place now. Maybe he's a guy you could say is a little more, his skill levels in certain ways, where he's maybe got some more options where he could box if it comes down to that a little bit more and use his legs more than Dubois could. Dubois uses his legs a little bit more to come forward, although he'll move off to the side sometimes. It's got intrigue to it for all those reasons. to find out which answer you're going to get to all those questions. Is his defense going to be able to couple with his will? Is he going to be able to get to Joshua without eating right hands for 4 rounds? Or is he going to walk into a right hand by Joshua early on? There's 96,000 people that are here to find the answer to that question. And I want to see the answer to that question. It makes this fight really, really interesting from those points of view, because it's like a book. This Dubois keeps he's adding new chapters to his book, and so is Joshua. Joshua he already has a legacy. He's made zillions of dollars. He's got a great legacy already, but he wants to add to it. This guy wants to. It's like adding chapters to a book, and you just want to see the ending. How is it going to end? Is the guy that looked like he had no career 2 fights ago, is he going to be on top of the mountain, or no?
Just want to ask you one question, because I'm conscious of the fact you were on your way out. When you look at Anthony Joshua's career, if it was to be finished after this fight, or kind of around
career.
now, where do you rate him amongst the pantheon of heavyweights?
I'm not rating him in the pantheon of heavyweight. Do you know how old this sport is, son? Yeah, I don't think you know. This sport goes back. They found depictions of fighters on caves 2,000 years ago. All right? This sport goes back a long, long way. So before you even get into that, you'd be better off asking, where does he fit in the great history of heavyweights in London, in England? And he fits right in there. He fits in a good place. And you've had some great ones, some real great ones. Whether they've won titles, didn't win titles, like Henry Cooper, came this close to beating Ali, before Ali got to the highest point of his career when he landed that left hook. So you've had nothing but great history, and part of that is the great heavyweight. So he fits right in there. He fits right in there, wherever you want to fit him, somewhere near the top, at the top, whatever your liking is. But when you start saying heavyweights of all time, there's a guy named Lewis, there's a guy named Ali, there's a guy named Marciano, Jack Johnson. I mean, there's a few guys that you might have to kind of consider before you start getting too heavy into that conversation. But look, he's had a great career. It's not over yet. And the best thing I can say about Joshua, besides the things that are obvious, that he's made a lot of money, he's accomplished a lot, he's won a lot of fights, he's made a lot of English fans and fans in general happy. He's behaved like a champion outside the ring as well as he has inside the ring. That's the greatest thing I can say. And that's something to say. And that's something that does give you a place in history. That's something that does mark you in a good place amongst fighters and amongst people, period.
Teddy, thank you very much. Enjoy the fight tomorrow, sir. Thank you.